This just in. People are fucking in the streets. People are going crazy. The coronavirus has spread. It has killed 4 million and...
Calling me something stupid. Don't ever do that again. That was disgusting. That wasn't even a good burp, you idiot.
That wasn't a burp. I just swallowed.
No. Was the mic on?
We were recording, but now we're podcasting.
Oh, shoot. That's all I wanted to say.
Come on, Bean. You have to open it up. You're the host.
I know, but I didn't know what to open it up at.
You say...
Right, quick.
This
is Bean. Welcome to the Adventures of Bean.
Welcome back to the Adventures of Bean podcast. Not back because it's the first one, but...
Alright, everybody, welcome to the Adventures of Bean. I am Bean, and here with me today I have my best friend, the one and only Lucas.
It's me, Lucas.
Alright, so today we're just going to be talking briefly about the podcast and the YouTube channel and everything to do with that, and so I guess I will start. So what I want to do with the podcast is bring people in, all sorts of people, and display like their creativity, certain things, stories, all kinds of different stuff. I'm also doing a vlog. Don't want to plug that too much, you know.
Not too early.
But yeah, that's basically what we're doing. So, where do we start? Introduce yourself a little bit.
I'm Lucas. I attend Akron University right now. I'm a graphic design major, and I'm just trying to get through these tough times.
Yeah, I guess they are some tough times. I don't really want to talk about that too much, but let's talk about our relationship a little bit. That sounded a little weird.
Yeah, first time we kissed was no.
Oh, July 4th. Under the fireworks. I remember like it was yesterday, don't you?
Oh, man.
Anyways, but what, we've known each other for
like 5 years now?
Yeah, probably.
Sometime.
it was like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. It's been fun. We had our ups and downs.
Yeah, we've definitely had our ups and downs.
Yeah. Mostly ups. Mostly big gains. But anyways, what have we... I guess basically our friendship... I mean, a lot of times we're working on things like... I don't know, we just have like crazy ideas that we bounce off each other. So, explain those.
I mean, depends where to start at. Like, oh my god. We gotta think here.
Yeah, I thought you'd be a little more prepared than this.
Oh, I'm not supposed to remember all the things. Okay,
Alright, so we had the t-shirt business.
The t-shirt business.
We didn't... I guess I'm pretty much working on that, but I bounce ideas off of him every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think it was his initial idea that we had to open up a t-shirt business.
Bean's like the doer, and I'm just like the idea guy.
Yeah.
I just know the ideas.
I'm the idea guy too. I don't know. I bounce ideas off of him. I kind of do stuff. But you help me a lot. I mean, if I come to you for like a specific thing, I think you're better at doing that individual task.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else? We've done photo shoots.
Mhm.
Yeah. Those turned out pretty well. They're
the
up
nude
there.
one.
Oh, we never did that. Don't tell people that. What else have we done? Like project wise.
The records.
Yeah. That's all. Alright, the record didn't really.
That didn't pan out. It was harder than expected.
Well, I guess my idea behind it was a little bit more in depth, and it didn't really fit that criteria.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted everything to be eco-friendly and everything, and I found out the hard way. It's absolutely impossible to get them. They're up there. The one, what is that, prototype?
Yeah, a little prototype Jimi Hendrix.
It turned out pretty well, but I wanted it to be eco-friendly. It's impossible for it to be eco-friendly.
Without it being the most intense amount of labor of all time.
Yeah.
With a Dremel tool or a hot knife.
Yeah, and that's not something you can reproduce, like, for a mass amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you can, but that would just not even be worth it.
It's not ethically possible.
Yeah, and I'm kind of excited for our new project. Dun dun dun.
Ta-da.
What is it? You want to explain our new project?
No, you have to explain.
No, you don't remember, do you?
No, wait, what project are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about our board game.
The board game. That's a good idea.
So let's just get into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can just lead our way through this whole path on here. Mm-hmm. Let's just bounce ideas off.
So, yeah, initially...
I think, who came up with... I think I came up with the idea to do it.
Yeah.
So, then we kind of went back and forth on... We wanted it to be like... I don't know, we've been playing Risk a lot.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of board games. I was going to say video games, but...
Yeah.
We've been playing a lot of board games, and I eventually just got a lot better than everyone else at them. Because my insane strategy...
Okay. Yeah, he is really good, but we've only played with him twice. I've played Risk probably a million times. I started playing like my freshman year of high school, and then I just got back into it with all the coronavirus stuff going on. But Lucas is really good for that reason.
Yeah, I played 3 times, and
his strategy makes no sense, and somehow he wins every time we play. But, anyways... You can continue what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. No, just like it's a really good idea. Everyone's stuck at home and stuff, so everyone's like playing a lot of board games and looking for things to do. So I feel like a board game is just a really fun idea to do. And then it could be really successful, or it could just be a lot of like fun for us if we have our own little board game.
Yeah, I think that's the thing we do in every project is like we try to... It's not really ever I don't know, a big ticket. Like, we're never
we never, like, it's never, like, to try to get rich off of it. It's just, like, for us to have fun and, like, do something.
Yeah, and, like, use our creative skills and, like, better those and find new ways to, like, be creative. That's pretty much where it goes.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we're like, oh, yeah, we could be famous off this. But it's not like we want to get, like, loads of money. I mean, if somebody wants to pay us, I don't care.
Yep, Cash App is... No,
we're going to leave that link. Anyways, so we bounced ideas. We, used our favorite board games as kind of like a way to get into it and discuss, like, what we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
You know? What are your favorite games that we discussed? I mean,
like of our ideas that we discussed.
Yeah, but like, what are the games that we bounce the ideas off of? Like,
bounced off like Risk and then Monopoly with the money system that we want to have, and then how it's like a first one to succeed the most, like a Monopoly-esque kind of game.
Yeah, well, all right, it's gonna be like, what did we decide? Vikings.
Yeah, like a Viking.
It's kind of like an adventure game and a battle game, so it's like fun forever. So it's not just like a mindless
luck game, like life or something like that.
Yeah, because we really...
It's not off of like the roll of dice or anything. It's just it's...
I mean, I think we will have some concept of luck in certain aspects, but for the most part, it's going to be very strategic.
Yeah. Like, to think like, sorry, that noise messed me up a little bit.
Yeah, I know, what was it? There's somebody there.
Yeah, but, so the idea of it was, to have like everybody gets their own area of land.
Yeah. And
then to venture out into other parts of land, take money or take battle for more land, and then take it back to your land.
And not just... Alright, there's going to be like certain things that Vikings would have to have gathered in order to build themselves. So, like, they would have to conquer different armies and use them to be a part of their, I don't know, their...
militia.
Yeah, whatever. To be a part of their... What's that word? Tribe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To be a part of their tribe or whatever. they would have to get like slaves basically and like build themselves.
And there's small villages
and,
with
like,
women and children that you have to slaughter,
Nah.
and then you take the
I
most
mean-
beautiful women back to your land.
Yeah.
Shout
But-
out to you, Sweden and Norway.
That wasn't what I was getting at. I was getting at the fact that, alright, you're going to need people to build your army. You're going to need materials to build ships. You're going to need different things. And there's going to be some point where you keep getting that, and then eventually you get to, you have to collect enough stuff and battle. And like, if you battle somebody, you obviously get their stuff. But then once you get enough stuff, you'll be able to present that to Odin, and that's how you finish the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we decided.
Yeah.
Haven't worked out, like, exactly what we wanted, but that's, like, a good gist of the idea.
Yeah.
I
Just a
mean,
little bit of ideas spitballed back and forth.
yeah. We haven't, like, we planned on taking the time to, like, actually do this, you know, and have fun with it and build a board, characters, and get a little more into the, like, actual Vikings, what is that? Vikings lifestyle.
Yeah, like figuring out to make it historically correct and.
Yeah, like, pretty much, yeah. And that's that. I mean, I don't know. What other... I mean, I know you got some projects of your own that's...
Yeah, right now I'm not, like, too focused. I'm trying to just focus on school. So I have a lot of, like, school kind of projects that I'm working on, which, I mean, they are really cool. Like, I'm doing, like, magazine covers right now and, like, portfolios of, like, works I've done throughout the year. And then I have, like, a whole diorama with a little figure that I'm doing. So, I mean, a lot of it, it's
Let's not
smaller.
lie, it's a Gundam.
Oh, yeah, Gundam. Yeah, if anyone knows.
Yeah.
But if anyone like knows anything of like any like graphic design or like art major kind of people, you know, like you're working on like your end of the year portfolios or like end of the year projects that you have to put weeks and weeks into. I've just been working on those right now, so I've been pretty busy with them. But I mean, other than that, I've been.
Well, so explain your diorama. Explain, or either that, or explain like your portfolio, like your different artworks and all that.
Well, yeah,
how you set that up.
Yeah, the portfolio is not too bad. We're doing it in like a brochure-esque kind of thing. So it's an 8-page format on InDesign, and it's pretty easy to explain. You just do you put your own creative twist on it and have all of your artworks and all the things that you have in the year.
What's your like style in that?
For mine, I'm doing a Star Wars kind of thing, just like geek out a little bit. And I thought it'd be fun to do some graphic designing with Star Wars aesthetics and layouts, because I thought that'd be really fun. So I have like a lot of light speed kind of things going on in like Millennium Falcon. I have like characters' faces in the corners of it and stuff, and like a bunch of fun sayings and everything throughout it all. But yeah, that's basically how I'm doing the portfolio part of mine. And then the magazine, I'm doing like a punk rock cover to a magazine. Like a punk magazine.
What does that entail? Like, what is your punk rock theme? I mean, just for like anybody who's interested.
Yeah, it's not too much of like, I guess it's not too much of a theme since it's just the cover. I'm just doing like a punk's not dead, since like a lot of people think like punk music's kind of fallen off since like the 80s and like 90s. But I'm just doing like a little punk's not dead, and just like a couple, like naming off a couple artists from like back in the day. Which makes it seem like punk's dead, because there's no.
That's
But I mean,
that's
it's a little contradictory. But I mean, it's just something fun to do, something creative that I know my professor's gonna like, and then, so that one's not too bad. The diorama, I just have a little figure. Like I build these little manga, they're from manga and anime. They're little Gundam robot like toys. You build them. They're like model kits, and then I have a diorama, which is like a realistic kind of a area where he is. So I'm doing a beach kind of desert theme. Well, beach theme, because I have the realistic waves and ocean on it with like the beach and like a giant rock on it. And yeah, I'm gonna place him in there, and then have like him all rusted up and dusty from all the sand and everything, and him like be like battle injured.
How did you get into Gundam, and like, I don't know, explain to me how the work is done on that, because I know they're pretty intricate, and like a lot of people don't understand like how much work goes into a Gundam.
Yeah, so when I first got into it, my brother, he went on vacation to New Jersey, and he went into a little hobby shop, which we really didn't do all that much. But we love watching like anime and everything we have since we were kids. So we decided we saw all these like little figures and stuff, and we saw PewDiePie. He built one first, and we never knew what they were. We just thought it was pretty cool that he built one. And then my brother went to a little hobby shop in New Jersey, saw some of them, bought 2 of them, brought them back. We built it, and it's like a real in-depth. If anyone's built like a model car or something, all the different pieces and everything, it's just like that, but it's way more in-depth with a lot more pieces. So it's like one big like decent sized Gundam will probably take you about like 2-3 hours to finish, but like one real intricate, like really nice one could take you like 2 days to finish.
Yeah, we should put a like a little picture in this.
Yeah, to show what they look like.
Yeah,
they're not too. They're like probably 17 centimeters height. Most of them aren't very big. I mean, some of them can get like pretty big. I have one that's like probably 2 or 3 feet big.
Yeah.
Which was just like, it's more like a showpiece kind of one. It's not like, it wasn't too intricate or hard to build. It probably took me about an hour to build.
And they're so expensive. Like you guys probably have like over $1,000 in Gundams.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have, because I mean, we probably have over 30 Gundams by now, and the real expensive ones run probably, I mean, there's some real expensive ones like Metal Gears and stuff like that. Those cost like $200 or $300, which we don't have any of those.
You guys have a few expensive ones.
Yeah, we have a couple $100 ones. We have like, there's master grades, which are like the best of the best, and those run from like anywhere from $40 to $150, and we have probably about like 15 master grades because that's mainly what we like to build, and then high grades can go anywhere from like $10 to $30 or $40. Most high grades aren't going to cost that much though. Yeah, so it's usually like $10 to $30 for a nice high grade, which are a lot smaller. They're 1 in 60 sizes, or I know I'm messing that. It's 1 in 144 size, so high grades pretty small compared to the master grades, because master grades are 1 in 100, and then we have real grades, which are the size of high grades. They're 1 in 144, but they have like the detail and the depth of design that like a master grade does. So like a high grade is a lot more cheaper built. It doesn't have as much space on it. Like you can do a lot of customization with a high grade, but with a master grade or a real grade, it's a lot more detailed and everything like that. So it's a lot easier. You don't have to do as much like customizing or anything like that, but we do because we just like painting them and thinking how it looks. See, now you got me geeking out, man.
I know, man. You're just like getting so into it. I'm getting lost.
I was just explaining, man. Got to explain to the people what it is. It was a little tangent right there, but I mean,
I had to get you.
Now you guys know what it is. Now you guys know exactly what Gundam is. It's from an anime, by the way. If you didn't get that.
I just want to explain that, like, obviously he's passionate about that, but like I think everybody, once you get into something that you're passionate about, once you find that, I guess, hobbies are expensive. Anything that you're into, it's ridiculously expensive. And then like the second part of that is like, it's like that becomes like a part of all your knowledge. Like he just listed off like 5-10 minutes of that, and I'm sure he could. I mean, he has his own podcast where he talks about it.
Oh yeah, we talk about a bunch of different things, but yeah, we do talk about Gundams a lot in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just so many different things to do with it.
I could go on and on about like some of the things, but like that's something to get into. It's just like fun to find different things. Like I mean, I'm constantly and you're constantly finding something that we get into, and it becomes like our hobby and part of our lives. Mm-hmm. And then people. That's like what I wanted to show is like the different sides of people and like what they're into, and give people like, I don't know, an idea of something to do and how to be creative and do your own thing, I guess. Alright, now we're going to talk about interesting skills. What kind of interesting skills do you have?
I guess like my art skills would be probably most prominent in that area.
Yeah.
So like I was always really into art and like drawing and things like that, and so I decided I wanted to be an artist of some sorts, but I don't have enough passion to, I guess, live modestly and like almost like take a shot in the dark that to see if I can become a great artist or see if I can produce artworks that are like really good enough to keep me like through a solid living. So I wanted something a little bit more steady and solid. So I decided to go into graphic design, which might seem like a cop out, but I mean it's just like the smarter thing I felt like to do. Yeah. So I wanted to go graphic design, which I never worked with programs or any like program or anything like that before. Or anything on the computers, and now I'm really good at it.
Now you're like indulged into that.
Yeah, now like that's mainly what I do. I really don't work with traditional mediums at all.
Would you say that was a good decision? Like, do you like it more now that you're into it, or is it still like just like I don't know, not like a settling, but
no, I definitely like it more now that I'm into it because I know like all the job fields and stuff, and like it's gonna be really nice. Like I could work from home easily. It's like a really nice setup for me in the future, and it's just a really nice skill to have to be able to work around and be able to understand all the programs that I use. So I mean, having the knowledge that I do now, I mean, it helps a lot with like, I guess mainly what I do in my career field, but also can help out a lot in other ways.
See, I feel like as an artist, like I consider myself. I mean, I'm not like an artist, but like photography. I feel like every artist is basically trying to do what you're doing. Like, every artist wants to find something that they can potentially make their career, I think. And it's really difficult because, A, it's very saturated in any art. Like, you have to be the top of the top of the top to be very successful in one specific thing. So I feel like a lot of artists are broadening their talents in different things to use as a career, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm kind of doing that. Like, I want to get into this videography. I want to make a book. I want to do something. Like, the only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to settle on just being a photographer for money things. Okay, I said stupid. I didn't want to say stupid. But that's not my thing.
Just being like a local photographer for like strictly like graduation and things like that.
Pictures and weddings.
Yeah, you don't want to become like a branded kind of thing like that. The town comes to you because that's a steady living, but it's not creative.
Yeah, like I want to be free in my creativity, and that's the main reason like I haven't set up something. Like I could easily go out and make the money, but I feel like I would lose the interest in what I'm doing.
Yeah, you could easily like make a decent amount of money working, set up, get a little gallery area, get a nice like rent a little lot area and start a little photography business for things like that, but that would just be like settling in your mind. You don't want to do something like that.
So do you kind of feel like you did that, or do you feel like you just found that other thing that you could do?
No, I think, I just found the other thing that I could do. Like, I knew that if I kept going for, like, trying to figure out, like, a artist kind of thing, I knew that there's so many artists out there. There's so many different pieces of art. I don't think I would be able to be crazy successful because I wouldn't say I'm, like, one of the best of the best. And, like, I've practiced my craft plenty, but I don't know. And then at first it was kind of like a settle kind of thing, but now I've, like, really found a love for what I do now.
I feel like that's how a lot of people feel. Like, I know people that found this job, and then through that job, they found another job, and they found another job, or whatever, however many times it took them. But then they found something that it stuck, and that was something that they learned to love, and that's actually what they should have been doing from the start. But they didn't know, because it's all about, like, finding it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at first I was going to settle for, like, a government job because I was going to school for, like, national security.
Yeah, that's
so I was going to settle for,
cool.
like, I was, it did sound pretty cool, but yeah, I was going to settle for, like, a government desk kind of job working for, like, somebody, like, a bigger, like,
corporation.
Corporate, yeah, like, I'd be working as an office kind of thing, and I knew I would have hated that. Like, I would not, like...
You would have enjoyed the money.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed the money, but I wouldn't have enjoyed any, like... Yeah. Just being suppressed into, like, a cubicle all day doing a bunch of paperwork, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I feel like
do stuff like
a lot of people get stuck in that, and then years down the road, they're like, let's try this, and then they found something they really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's, like, I don't know. I try to do that. Like, I try new things a lot just because I know that I'm not fully committed to, like, really anything. Like, I love photography and I love this, but I'm not at a point where I can do the actual things that I would love to do. So I'm constantly trying to find different ways to get to where I would love, you know?
Yeah.
That's like another thing. Like, your graphic design, maybe you start doing that, you become successful, and then you have that. And then you branch off, and then you're make a name, and then you're able to do what you really wanted to start out doing, you know? Maybe not.
Government work.
Yeah. Anyways, so one of your pieces on my wall, I think I'll show that in one of the things. It's up there. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that was just traditional media. We just had a little, like, we went out and bought canvases and decided, let's paint for, like, an hour.
Yeah.
An hour or 2 hours. So
mine was terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
But, I mean, you never, like, worked with any, like, mediums or any, like, thing like that. So I just used a little bit of my art skills and decided to paint a picture of Charles Manson.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. we'll have to show it if it's not in there.
Yeah.
And let's just move on to, alright, places you've been and adventures you've been. Like, what are the, like, the most memorable adventures and places that you've been? I mean, this is the adventure bin. We have to discuss it.
That's one thing. I wish I could travel more, but I don't travel too much. I mean, I've been around a little bit. Like, I've gone to, like, Florida I've gone to Florida a couple times. I've been to California. But most memorable places, I mean, I lived there for 10 years, but definitely Texas. It's just the greatest place in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to go down to Austin because they're very artsy. Like, they're a very art-filled community.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been there?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Yeah, what's it like? Like, I mean, explain anything.
I mean, there's, like, an insane amount of shops, like, just little, like, local shops that local business owners run, and with a bunch of, like, there's a lot of that, like, hippie kind of vibe in a lot of those kind of shops, and then there's,
I mean, that's kind of how I feel, like, places I want to go are, like, hippie, but a lot of the places I want to go are, like, places that nobody really interests themselves in. Like, a lot of people are, like, tourists. Like, when I go places, I don't want to do, like, alright, there's some things that I want to do that are, like, touristy, but then there's, like, I don't want to do straight tour.
Yeah,
like,
you want to, like, ask, like, people that, like, are locally from there, like, where's the best spots and stuff like that a lot of tourists, like, and a lot of, like, travel sites don't know about.
Yeah, and I don't know that everybody really does that. Like, when I was in Chicago, there's plenty of things to do in Chicago that are touristy. Not knocking that, and I did a lot of them. I did probably all of the things touristy that you could do. But I spent, I don't know, three of the 5 days I was there, I spent kind of like exploring and going to places that not a lot of people go. Probably not the greatest idea in Chicago, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I got up at 4 in the morning and walked around the city and saw different things and went to different shops, like, all by myself. Not a good idea. But it was, like, eye-opening. Like, I really got to see the city, and then I went in the outskirts, and there's Chinatown, there's like a little Latin American, Spanish American community around there. Hispanic, there we go. Hispanic community, there's that. There's like all these different cultures in this tiny little space. And it was cool. Also, I don't know if anybody knows this, but on St. Patrick's Day, Chicago has a lot of Irish culture influence there. And they actually dye the river that runs through it green.
Yeah.
That's, like, I thought that was the coolest thing. It was still green when I went there because I went, like, I went around my birthday. So it was still green, and I was like, man, that's cool. So I got some really sweet pictures of that. But what are, like, the non-touristy places that you, like, saw? Like, those kind of adventures.
Oh, so, I went to college before I went to Akron. I went to a place in West Virginia, and I was about 40 minutes away from West Virginia University. And since I went to, it was a little bit smaller of a school. A lot of people from there were locally from there, and they knew all the little like small like creeks and like little lakes and stuff that you can go to have fun, like find rope swings and things like that, and like just so many different cool experiences that you wouldn't get if you were in like the big college community. Like it wasn't just, I mean, there was plenty of partying and stuff like that, but like there was also, if a weekend you didn't feel like just like partying all and like getting crazy at a club, you could go out on a lake or something, or like somewhere to somebody's backyard
Yeah.
and ride four wheelers or like ATVs or something, just like do a bunch of crazy stuff at somebody's house because everyone there owns like 10 acres for some reason.
Yeah.
You just
You're
go
in
have
the
fun
hills,
there.
baby.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, you can go to like the tops of mountains and things, and there was like a bunch of crazy hiking spots that you can go to that like a lot of people would have missed out on because they wanted the bigger college experience instead of going to like a smaller area like that where people are locally educated, I guess. Just like know their surroundings better than anybody and know where the best spots are.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned like before you lived in Texas, and one of the things that you had once you told me before is that everybody used to swim in the river, and I thought it was always weird because like I always just thought everybody went to the beach, everybody went to the lakes, and I was raised on a lake.
Yeah. Know? So like in Texas, there's lakes that you can swim in, but not many people like go to the lakes. It's always where in the part of Texas where I'm from, everyone went to like rivers, and then you'd get a bunch of beer. You'd get a group of like 3 or 4 families, and you just have like a family day at the river.
Do you just like float down the river?
Well, there's some rivers where you just like get a tube, you bring your own, you rent a tube, you float down a river for a couple hours with like a big group, or there's little like beach areas. You set up some blankets, or you set up anything. You just sit at and you like, they have grills there. You can bring your own grill.
Yeah.
$5, you'll stay there for the whole day, and then you just cook out there with like hundreds of other people just around you.
So it's like the
floating
beach
inside
experience, but not at the beach.
Yeah, so you're just floating down, like, you like go to like different parts of the river. There's rope swings, cliffs to jump off of. There's a bunch of other people and like kids, and you just get to meet so many different people and everything like that. It's just really fun.
Yeah. What's like your favorite? All right. What's the best thing that you've like? Best experience of your life. Like, what was that?
Oh, Jesus.
That's a very broad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Like,
I couldn't even tell you that.
Like, what's the coolest thing you think you have done? Like, I can think of a few, but like, there's like one that stands out.
That I've done?
Yeah. Like, it can be like an adventure. Like, what is the coolest thing?
I don't know, man.
It's stressing you out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just
That's
take
hard.
some time. I'll think of something. Just leave that in
Do
your
you have
mind.
one for me? What's the coolest thing I've done?
Cool. I don't know, man.
Come on, man. You gotta know something I've done.
No, like, what is something that just like awestruck you? Like, what was that cool thing? Like, all right, senior trip was cool.
Oh yeah, senior trip was crazy fun.
But I don't know if I would still put that on the top. Like, I don't know. Like, all right, that's what I wanted to like leave in your mind, because let's talk about a bucket list. What are some things that you really want to do before you kick the bucket?
That's a good.
See, I'm gonna say mine.
Say yours. Let me think of a couple.
Definitely the number one thing that I want to do is skydive. I want to jump out of a plane. I want to, like, I love roller coasters, but I've been on so many, and I just like lost that adrenaline, and I like to go fast and stuff. Like, I just want to feel the wind, like, going through my body, or, you know, free falling from 1,000 feet or whatever. That's probably like my number one thing, but there's a few other things that I think I would want to do. Like, I want to go to a lot of places. Like, there's nowhere in the world that I don't really want to go to, because I really love culture, and I really love to see new places, and it's just like so eye-opening when you see certain things, and really creates you and makes you feel a different way about certain things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that sounded really like deep but not deep at the same time.
I don't know. So I guess like I definitely before I want to kick the bucket, I want to travel to Ireland.
Yeah,
Travel
that's up
like
there.
yeah, like Japan.
So besides traveling, what's like?
Ooh,
Like, all right, I was in Chicago. I was on the 103rd floor of a building, and it's glass, and like you step out onto this glass platform that hangs 103 floors up, and you look down, and I got a good picture of that too. But it's just like there's things like that I just. If there's things like that, what would you like? Is there a specific thing like you want to go see the Eiffel Tower or you want to whitewater raft? That's one thing. Whitewater rafting through the Grand Canyon. Another one on my bucket list.
Bang a porn star.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen. That's actually nasty.
Huh?
I'm actually disturbed by you.
You wouldn't want to do that before you die.
Not really. I don't think that it would be as enjoyable as what you think.
No, I don't think it'd be enjoyable at all. Not at all.
You just want that reputation.
I just want to do it. A reputable one too, that people know about.
Aw. Who?
Oof.
If you none of the ones by the time you get to a point in your life where you would be able to do that, none of the ones now are gonna be anything.
Yeah, they're gonna be MILFs.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I don't know.
Way to leave it. You don't have any others?
I never thought about. Yeah, I never thought about my bucket list too much.
Whitewater rafting through the Grand Canyon. That's definitely one. I want to go on.
Live a near-death experience before I die.
That's not
from the
something
death
you
experience.
Can do. I mean,
can
you
try.
can. You can't try. That's just something that has to happen.
I like an attempted accidental suicide, but I mess up. No, I'm just kidding. No, no.
That's terrible.
No.
That's
like
absolutely terrible.
I don't know, just like a giant car crash. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh, you know it'd be cool. I think you would enjoy this one. They have those things that simulate birth for men. I think you should do that.
I should do that.
I would. Oh, remember? All right, so this is funny. There's this guy that we know. We called him Hype Man.
Oh, yeah.
He paid Lucas. How much did he pay you?
Probably $20.
It was like $20.
Yeah.
And he paid him $20 to put a shot collar around his arm.
Yeah.
He held it there for so long, and Lucas, he took it like a man. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
we had another friend, Benito.
Oh,
Didn't
man.
take. He was down on his knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. But that might have been closest to near-death experience you. If you would have put it around your neck, I would have told you not to do that. Maybe.
Do that. I would have been close to the near death right there.
Yeah.
I think I should do it. Anyone got $20?
Alright, so bucket list. Let's continue that. Alright, people that you would like to meet in your lifetime. Like, who's like some notable people that you would like to meet?
That's a hard question. I don't know. Like, I never thought about who I'd really want to meet.
Who are like your
before, but
your favorite celebrities? That's pretty much where you start with that, I guess.
I guess I'm really into actors and stuff. I guess I would want to meet Robert De Niro.
Dude, that's probably on my list too.
Yeah, Robert De Niro. He would be really cool to meet. He's getting up there in age, so I better make that happen quick.
Yeah.
And directors, I really want to meet Tarantino, Scorsese. There's a bunch of different Yeah, I don't know. There's I guess more movie kind of people that I would really want to meet.
I would probably want to meet Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, that would be a funny guy to meet.
That would be probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, he just walks up with the really long shorts on and a really big baggy shirt.
This isn't I don't really want a full interaction with this. I just want to get a picture with this person. What's his name? Jason Momoa.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to get a picture with my hair down.
Next to Jason Momoa.
Dude, people would be
you times 6.
Yeah. It's who I should look like. It's
It's what I should look like if I was made amazing the right way.
If they didn't fuck me up a little bit.
If you weren't just the prototype, God made the prototype first of Jason Momoa, and then he made Jason Momoa.
He was just like, all right, here's this kid.
He's like, all right,
or
that
like,
turned out okay.
or I'm younger than him, obviously. They made Jason Momoa, and then they tried to recreate it, and he like forgot the whole formula.
Yeah.
That's like one thing though.
He made 2 Jason Momoas, and then one of them he lost for a while.
Yeah.
It got like all messed up somehow.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm not really religious. Let's talk about that a little bit. I'm agnostic, so that means I don't fully believe in any views, in any religious views.
You're going to hell.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
See, I don't fully believe
No.
in that, so am I? But I think, like, one thing with that is I go through phases a little bit, though, because it's hard for me to just sit down and say, I'm finding what I am, like what I believe in. So I do study a little bit, different religions and different things like that. I have an open view on life in general, I think, and afterlife. Like, I think that's what religion, not mostly, it's not centered, but, like, I think afterlife is a big part of every religion.
Yeah, just what started life and what happens in the afterlife and how you should follow those rules in between.
I wouldn't say they're rules.
I don't know. Some religions have rules.
Yeah, some are rules, but yeah, so, like, I kind of venture off and try to find, like, I watch videos. I got really into Buddhism, and that's part of my tattoo sleeve. I started it, and right now it's just Buddha, but eventually it's going to be, like, different religions and stuff like that all up my arm, and I think that would be really cool, like, piece. And I'm going to have the same artist do that piece, but, so I'm very, like, into spiritual stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of, well, what are your views on religion? I never really asked you that.
I'm Catholic, so I was baptized Catholic, always been Catholic, First Communion, strictly Catholic.
That's, most of my family's Catholic, so I've attended Catholic churches and some of that, but, like, sometimes I think about how all religions really just, like, create everything in society.
Yeah.
Like, they've created so much in society, and I feel like we're at a point in time, where we've kind of steered away from that, and, like, I really think this is kind of out there, but for me, I feel like society as a whole has taken money as a view of life. Like that, some people live, breathe, eat, everything just for money.
Yeah.
And I think that's very skewed in society. We're very put into that mindset of that is what success is, and I don't believe that is. I think everybody individually has their own success and something they should strive for. Like, everybody does. Everybody's like, I want this and this. Like, I would be fine with living in this town forever and this and that, but then they see other people on social media. That's a big one. Any kind of social media, they see people with more, and then ultimately they want more. Yeah. And I think money drives all of that. Like, a lot of the jealousy and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think, like, a lot of it is to blame to social media, because people see, like, lives that they could be living, or, like, they just, like, envy off of people that are making a lot of money, or people that act like they're making a lot of money on social media. So people are, like, focused, like, oh, this person doesn't have that much money, but they're acting like they do, or this person has all this money, so they get to live how they want and stuff, and I want to be like that, but we're so driven to think that more is better. Yeah. And I think for a long time we've been driven to think more is better, especially money. Like, more money is better. Yeah. That's everybody. But I think we're really starting to get into a point in time where we're realizing that that's not true. And I think our generation is going to be the real ones to pull that in, to change that whole thing. Because, like, we have tiny house living, and people are so happy just living in, like, a 600 square foot or less house. Yeah, or, like, the van life kind of thing. Yeah. People live in a van.
Yeah. I thought about that before. That would be kind of cool, but I don't... See, that's not really my like, I thought it was, and then I came to realization that there's no way I could live in a van. I like to collect things. I like to have my own space. I like to stay at home when I can.
You never thought it'd be cool though, just like take a year off to try to live in.
See, I think that would be
like,
cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I could do that for long term. Like, I think a year would probably be stretching it for me.
Yeah.
I think I would be fine with a year. I think I would really enjoy it and everything. But I think that might be my stopping point.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could do it long term.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, like, what's your idea of success?
Money, man. A lot of money.
No, like, if you could paint a picture of what you want...
just being successful. I've always, like, strived to just, like, have a family and stuff like that. So as long as I have a family that, like, has a really close bond and really cares for each other and I can provide for them success, like, provide enough for them to be happy, then I think that that's as successful as I need to be.
Yeah. See, there's certain things... Obviously, I want to have children. I mean, not obviously, but I want to have children, but obviously I want to be able to give them all the experiences they can have. And I think another thing I want to do is I want to give people who are less fortunate a life that they can. So I want to adopt, and I've been working with, like, we started what is that? A small charity group, Manners Matter in Massillon. Gonna shout that out. But we started that, and I want to get into that, and I really feel like part of my purpose is to help as much people as I can, and I think I'd be really successful if I touched as many people as I can. Like, I bettered somebody's life in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, like, one of my things, personally, that success is to me. Like, you know.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I think is. But, alright. So with going back to religion, because I just thought about this. Alright. Where are you going when you die? Like, what are your options?
Heaven. Hell.
Alright. So in other religions, there's that. There's a lot of that. In a lot of religions. Christianity, Catholicism, and branches of all those, basically. Anybody who believes in the Bible believes in heaven and hell. And then there's Buddhism, where you reach enlightenment. There's Hinduism, where you're reincarnated, and they believe in that. But I think the one weird thing about the religion that I believe in, because it's not really, it's just a view of life. I wouldn't even, it is considered, any view of life is considered religion. So it's a religion. But even atheism has somewhere where you're going. You're just dead. See, but mine is, I'm going into the unknown. And I think that's really weird.
Like a void?
It's just
like the SpongeBob episode where Squidward's like, alone.
See, no, but it's not that. It's just like completely unknown. Like, you can't know. If you don't know, that's stupid to say. If you don't know, you can't know. But that's really what it is. Like, I could potentially go to any of those places, or I could be in a void, or I could just be dead, whichever one's real. But, like, somebody said to me, like, what if you go wherever you believe you go?
Yeah.
When you die. I'm going to, I don't know.
Like, your, like, soul has a conscious, and wherever you believe during life that you would go, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Or what if you believe in whenever you see the light at the end of the tunnel or whatever, it's you being reborn.
Yeah. But, like, what if mine is I'm just unknown? What is that?
You just
like,
chase the light forever.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything, and I think that's one thing that's, like, really... I don't find it scary because I'm, like, always down for an adventure. I'm always down for, like, going into the unknown. Like, I've been on, like, adventures with people where I was the only one that did something that nobody else wanted to do because they were, like, scared to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not really scared. I'm just going to do it. And I feel like that's how I'm going to go into that. So, I don't know. That was pretty deep.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. Anyways, what other topics can we talk about?
Backtrack about the minimalist living. You said you couldn't do it because you collect a lot of things. Like, what are some of the things you collect?
Well, I collect a lot. I'm like borderline hoarder. I collect, I don't know, a lot of childhood memories. I collect yearbooks. I collect pictures. I'm a photographer. Of course, I collect pictures. But I collect a lot of those pictures. I've started to collect art. I don't know. I collect cultural pieces, places from everywhere I've been. I collect, basically, actually, this one's good. I collect a lot of music stuff. I've always been like the collecting type. Like I collect coins. I used to have a lot of football memorabilia, but I kind of changed out of that phase of my life. That was really just a phase. But music, and I think that's a good place to go now. Let's talk about some music.
Music? Alright, what kind of music are you into?
All of it, man. But I think a lot of my influence comes from rock. Woodstock. I wish I was there. My grandma was there. She was 16. Woodstock.
Yeah.
Never experienced. She was a raised Jehovah's Witness, so they don't ever, they don't let them listen to a lot of that kind of music, and that was like really out there, hippies and stuff. And she goes there and is just like stunned. She never heard of any of them, even though they're so popular. She never heard of any of them. And like, that would have been sweet. I wish I was in her shoes, but I guess I wouldn't have appreciated it. But music, all of it, man. What about you? Talk about some music you're interested in, the weird stuff. Any of it.
I mean, really into, let's see, like I said, like punk rock, a lot of like hardcore rock, but I mean, I'm not just into rock. I like a lot of like Irish folk music and like Irish kind of music.
You got me into the Pogues.
Oh yeah, that's not really like that's
you
like
got me into some other
just
stuff.
Some Irish bands and stuff. Yeah, like Pogues, Dubliners, all them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a bunch of I like listening to like Russian alternative music sometimes. Like there's just a bunch of like insane random music that I like to listen to. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
You really got me to dive into SoundCloud. That was like,
man, yeah, I used to be really passionate about that a couple years back.
That was bad for me, but I like it.
Yeah, I really used to be into like the whole underground scene with all the underground rappers and stuff. Now I follow it a little bit, not as much as I used to. I don't really follow the current underground. I just follow a lot of like artists that I feel like kind of started everything, like Xavier Wolfbones, like all the Sesh Hollow Water Boys, the Suicide Boys and stuff like that.
They're kind of big now. They're not really underground.
Yeah, Sesh Hollow Water Boys, I mean, I'd say Xavier Wolf and Bones and things, they're a little bit big, but they're not like crazy big and everything.
Like how X blew up. And
how X blew up.
You were on X and Peep like day one.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say day one, but early on.
Yeah, I was onto them like, oh man, we used to have like chats and stuff on like Vine and stuff. Like I was into them like 2014 when they were just releasing like music like Barely Ever, like they like were really not like Barely Ever, they were releasing like a bunch of like songs that like got deleted later on because eventually they had to be branded and stuff, but like a lot of songs that like a lot of people wouldn't have known about, and like when they were a lot younger, like trying to figure out who they were as an artist. And then there's like Suicide Boys. I used to listen to them back in the day, but they've always been pretty relevant in the underground scene. I stopped listening to them though decently, and also like classical music. I'm really into classical music, like opera. I'm really into opera.
Name some of the opera singers or songs that like.
Oh, dude, don't put me on the spot like that. I'd have to look it up. I don't pay attention to their names. I just
you like Andre Bocelli.
Oh yeah, and like Yo-Yo Ma. He's not opera. He's a classical artist, and then like he's like a little bit more like recent of classical music.
I'm not into classical.
Or like have you ever like Beethoven, Bach, things like that?
Yeah. That was the next one I was gonna say, Bach, but Andre Bocelli, he's opera. I guess I don't know the difference.
Yeah, so like opera, like I think it's Italian that they sing in, and like it's just like really dramatic and things like that. So like, I don't know. Whenever I want to get like real pumped up, like I'll put on an intense opera song or something like that.
You mean
Or, like-
classical?
Huh?
Is it opera or is it classical
That does the singing with the voice?
that you're into?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm into classical. I just like classical. Like, I can't listen to music when I study, so I know a lot of people listen to classical music when they study. I just listen to it because, like, I like how it sounds and I like how it makes me feel. But opera, if I, like, need to get pumped up, like, sometimes I'd listen to, like, opera music before, like, I would play a football game or something like that.
See, I have two things I want to say. I think music, well, let's just start at that. I think music really, there's like two sides of music. I think you can use music to change your mood, or music does itself and changes your mood. You either choose to be in that mood, or it puts you in that mood. And I think that's like a very powerful thing, and there's a lot of time involved in that, like the time period. There's a lot that in each of the, like, in music, and every time that song is made or released for people to hear, there's an impact on that, or on the following, or it's a cause or an effect, either way.
Yeah.
But I think, like, it's so powerful. This is like, it makes you in a way. It makes society in a way.
Yeah. Like, it, like, can really form you as a person. The kind of music that you listen to, like, if you were listening to, like, all this, like, punk music or, like, rebellious music, like, you're gonna, like, want to, like, start dressing a certain way, like, to, like, fit that punk style, or, like...
Yeah. In any style, you know?
Yeah, like, you want to just, like, start acting or, like, portraying the kind of music that influences you the most.
See, that's another... People don't ever think of that. That's another way of, like, social media, I think.
Yeah.
It's a media. It's not what we're used to, pictures and words, but it's a media. It's voice. It's songs. Yeah. And that influences us. Just as much as Vine, Twitter. Vine's not a thing anymore. TikTok, Facebook, any of those. Just as powerful, if not more, because you don't. It's subliminal, pretty much.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thinks of that. And the second thing I wanted to say is, I forget now. No, what was I gonna say about music? I don't know. I'm lost.
Music's a beautiful thing, man.
it really is. That's
no matter what kind of music it is, either. I mean, it takes talent to make music, even if it doesn't sound like, even if it's not a music that you like. No matter what, there's somebody that's gonna like that music. There's gonna be somebody that thinks it's good. There's a certain amount of work that's put into it, and like people who make music have
art.
passion for a certain reason. Yeah,
it's art.
Yeah, definitely art.
I think art can be
anything. It's such a broad.
It's
term.
broad, but then a lot of people don't think of that.
Yeah.
Final words on music, on this whole podcast, really.
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
I mean, I really like it.
Are you feeling adventurous?
Oh yeah, I feel really adventurous.
Dude, I'm not lying. It's just got my mind going.
Yeah, I think this is a really cool idea. Like, just somewhere to put your thoughts out on and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then people can relate to it on whatever way they want to relate to it. You know? But I want to say, like, subscribe, comment. Is it just comment and subscribe? There's no liking?
Yeah. No, there's liking.
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment. Follow me at Bean Photographs, or, I don't know, Uncle Bean. It's up there somewhere on, what is it? Instagram. Jeez.
Follow me at Incel Crusher. That's all social media platforms, Incel Crusher. And then take a look at my podcast, Guys Night Podcast, YouTube. You can find it anywhere, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. You can find it everywhere.
Also, before we end it, I want to say, I got to get on Guys Night Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, that is true.
We missed that, but I got to get on it.
Yeah.
So go.
It's a lot more like pop culture-y, like a lot more like stance around comedy.